This hair! Dolly Parton did not come to play. Hi everyone, Miss Bonnie and I are here because I challenged Bonnie, meaning I harassed Bonnie, into doing a 24-hour readathon with me. If you're not familiar, 24-hour readathons are kind of just, sometimes they're organized, sometimes like right now, I just feel like staying up for 24 hours and reading. And so I'm challenging myself, since I've been going on the pace of like a book a day for the past week, I want to see how many books I can get done within a single 24-hour span. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm not gonna sleep, because let's be real, I didn't even go to sleep last night, so I'm gonna crash tonight at like 6 p.m. I'm calling it. But I want to see how many books I can finish within a 24-hour span if I put my mind to not going on social media every time I blink. I have started a book last night. I'm gonna finish it today, and then I'll do a tentative TBR of what I'm gonna be reading next. So, currently reading Meet Cute by Helena Hunting. You'll notice a theme. I'm sort of on this romance binge right now because, first of all, it's the easiest thing that I can read from like cover to cover and I don't get bored. So I've been really invested in these. This is the one that I started most recently. It comes out in April. This follows a girl named, I don't know why I forgot because it's so special to me. The main character's name in this book is Kaylin. She meets this guy in college who is the former actor of one of her favorite TV shows. He was really famous as a teen for being an actor on this show, and she meets him in college and sort of has like this huge crush on him the entire time. But then at the end of their college career, he like betrays her and does something. I'll let you figure it out when you get there. So then it's like T, she doesn't want to be friends with him anymore. But then years pass and he ends up needing her law office. His parents die and he has custody of his 13-year-old sister. They meet again and she's like, sucks your family died, but let's talk about what happened 5 years ago. And so it's all about them rekindling their, I don't want to say relationship, maybe just friendship turns into a relationship. And then it's also about like this 13-year-old girl whose parents died and she's now under the custody of her brother. And so he's consulting with Kaylin to be like, how do I take care of a teenage girl? Help. It just sounds really cute. And the word cute is in the title, so you can't go wrong. I'm currently 65 pages into the book and it's like 360 pages. So I'm gonna try and sit down and read that in one sitting. Then when I'm done with that, I have a couple other options that I could explore as far as different things to read, new items on the agenda. The first book I could read is Passion on Park Avenue, which is a New York City set, rags to riches, CEO, enemies to lovers with her neighbor who used to be really snooty to her as a kid back when she was poor. Sounds cute, but also, I don't know. I also have Pride and Prejudice and Other Flavors, which is a Pride and Prejudice retelling with an Indian main character, and she's from like a royal family in India but comes to America to be a doctor. And then her love interest is a chef. And so it's like this Pride and Prejudice thing where they're both like judgmental against each other. Someone explained the plot of Pride and Prejudice to me, but I already forgot. It's currently 1:30. I watched my laptop turn 1:30. That was amazing. So I'm gonna say that 1:30 tomorrow is when we're gonna stop this shenanigan. And I'm gonna do as much reading in between now and then as possible and try and throw my phone out a window and my computer out a window. Actually, more specifically, just like Twitter, because I need my computer and my phone to play music while I read because it helps me focus. I'm going to snuggle so hard into my bed, hopefully not fall asleep, and get reading. So yay, 24-hour readathon! Also, since I'm tag teaming this with Bonnie, definitely check out her channel. And are you gonna post a vlog of this? Hell yeah. Okay, yeah, she's gonna have a vlog up too, so like double content, double whammy. I will update you periodically unless this is a flop. Then I won't. Okay, a couple hours later, update. I'm now page 150 of Meet Cute. It's still cheesy. It's still really weird, unexplanatory writing. I refuse to DNF it because I'm stubborn and Bonnie said I should, and so now I'm definitely not. I am so emo right now. My friend Rachel texted me, hey, are you home? And she wanted to drop by and give me something. And she brought me a little gift bag of stuff because she knew I just got a job rejection and I was really upset about it. And so she got me a little horse coloring book, Reese's, and cake pops, and then this cute little thing I can put on my bookshelf that says she believed she could, so she did. My heart is so full. And my stomach is about to be so full of these cake pops. I know Rachel's probably watching this. Massive shout out to you, Rachel. You are the light of my life. I'll link her Instagram down below for all of you who need to go and love on her because she is the best friend ever. Also, I've been wearing this sweater all day because it goes with my bird skirt. I just had someone on my Twitter tell me it's like Juliet Ferrar's wearing her pink sweater at the beginning of Restore Me, and now I'm just like, this is me! Yay! So I got to page 170 before Rachel came over. I'm like literally exactly halfway through. I've been reading slower than I was hoping to because I keep getting distracted, but that was because I was on FaceTime with Bonnie, so now I think I'm gonna like shut off my laptop, put on ASMR, and get crack-a-lackin' because we finally got to our first kissing scene and it's getting more intense. I will say this is more of a family-driven book than a romance-driven book, and the writing style and everything in it is very generic, so it's difficult. It's not the most fast-paced book ever, but I think it does have its audience. It's just not really my type of romance, so I'll get to that in my final review. So, minor flop. I just woke up from a nap. I've been feeling a little weird all day, and tonight I just started not really feeling good at all. I let myself just pass out because I didn't want to make myself worse by not having sleep. I only slept for like 2 hours, so I still should be good for like being able to fall back asleep tonight. I'm still only like halfway through my book. I've got a lot of catching up to do. I still don't really feel that good. It's not a bad book. It's just probably going to be like a 2 or 3 star book. Someone on Twitter is selling their French edition of Shatter Me. 3 people tagged me in it, which I thought was funny, and I woke up to that, so I might buy a French edition of Shatter Me tonight. We'll see. Okay, those are all my updates. I don't know what's going on with my tummy, but I don't feel good. I'm so unmotivated. I have not touched my book. I've been on Twitter for the past couple hours. It's 2 a.m. and I didn't even realize. I thought it was like midnight, but since I took a nap, my schedule is off. Right now I'm journaling because it's been a whole hot minute since I've updated my journal, and I feel like I'm in the mood to finally talk about stuff. So I'm just gonna take advantage of that creative energy. I'm not gonna be stressed about finishing a book or how bad my lipstick looks. It looks like I have a mustache. So I'm just gonna journal right now and take it easy. I've been making fun of this book the entire time because it's really dry with description. It kind of just over explains things in a really obvious way, and then none of the inner monologue talks about the characters' reactions to things or their emotions or anything. So it's really hard to get a sense of like what the characters are feeling. They really don't have very big personalities. And so I've kind of been poking fun at some of the dialogue because the words on the page don't go along with any sort of meaningful emotion behind it. So I've been reading it in a robot voice. And like, I'm at the first sex scene. Finally. Some of the lines in this aren't great. I'm not mad about asking for consent, but he's like, "I'm going to kiss you now. Beep boop bop computing." It's just strange. You know what? I just decided I remembered I love myself and I don't have to finish this book if I don't want to. I feel like I've been doing really good lately with finishing out books even if I'm having a complicated time with them, but this book I got 232 pages into and it's not bad. I just know I'm not going to rate it more than 2 stars. It's not my type of story. I don't like the writing style. I don't see it getting better, so I don't feel bad about not finishing it, and I can pass this arc on to someone who's more excited to read this that'll probably like it better. I'm just gonna give it 2 stars. It was very awkward. Even though the book's in first person, it stays very arm's length away from them. Like you're not even following them closely because you don't even learn anything about what they're feeling or thinking. The inner monologue of this book is robotic. The 2 characters' points of view sound identical, except the guy's is just more horny. I think a reason why I decided to not finish this book is because it's more family-based than romance-based. I liked the 13-year-old, but I was just far more interested in hearing about a love story, and it felt kind of sidelined to the family plot line, which I didn't sign up for. Also, this book just felt really strangely outdated, like 2009 called, and it wanted its tropes back. A lot of the language used seemed very dated, like when they're texting using all the different abbreviations, and it would use the word freaking a lot. It's like, you're an adult, just use the F word. Also, just a lot of the things the guy said were really cheesy and things people have been saying for years in romance books, like, you don't know you're beautiful. But overall, I would just describe this book as generic. The writing style was very bland. It was not description heavy at all. Because this book just was basically a custody battle with a small side plot of romance, I just really wasn't that interested in what was happening. And usually in romance books I can suspend my disbelief to have some fun when I read it, but I really just wasn't having fun. Like, I was even just sitting there questioning the ethicality of a lawyer smashing her client. The romance element of it isn't huge, and I think the writing of this book is so weak that it was hard to keep me engaged with any of the plot. So that's that. So I was gonna continue and read a lot of romance books for the rest of this reading vlog, but I kind of decided impromptu, like, why not make this like a mini cramathon? Like, read the shortest books on my bookshelf so that I can read the most in a small amount of time. So I think I might go grab all my poetry books and my graphic novels, and I'll make a new TBR out of that. So I have 5 books here that I think will take me very short amounts of time to read. I have Poetry, which is a satire, maybe, book about poetry. I have a manga called Satoko and Nada, and I just flung it off my bed into the deep recesses of hell. I have a graphic novel called Snot Girl. I have a graphic novel called Monstrous. And I have this, I don't even know how to describe this, like poems / photography book from Keaton Henson. Actually, I think I'll start with this one because I think it'll be the quickest. I think I'm gonna give this an instant 5 stars, being real. So I'm gonna get going with that. Okay, I'm charging my camera battery, so phone clip. But Keaton Henson, backstory, is one of my favorite artists because he suffers from anxiety and depression, and I relate to it so much in his music. I opened this book to be like, yeah, page 1, let's go. And it's this. So I decided to look up what this means. It looks like maybe Latin, I don't know. Put it in Google Translate. Less anxiety follows. I'm on page 1. I'm already just like 5 stars. So I really don't know what this is. It might be a book of poetry. I know that he has a score called 6 Lethargies. Here's a little explanation. And a picture of my son. I love him. I'm reading this and crying. So this whole beginning of it is talking about the reason why he wrote 6 Lethargies, which is this classical music score. And he says, like I mentioned earlier, he suffers really terribly from anxiety to the point where he hates performing concerts. It says he wrote something that someone else could play on his behalf. I want to send him all my love. And it makes so much sense why he writes classical music, so that he doesn't have to perform it himself. Like, I don't know where all these kisses in the world have been hiding, but I hope he gets all these kisses. I hope they're delivered to his front doorstep. I want to give him so many kisses. 10 out of 10, I support. Good as heck morning. So last night I felt really crusty and tired, and I didn't feel like I'd be able to talk about my thoughts efficiently if I did a clip in bed, as I have been doing. Allow me to do a mini wrap-up of all the stuff I started last night. So as you know, I read 6 Lethargies by Keaton Henson. This was sort of a process book about this new symphony orchestra that he put together. So I ordered this knowing it had something to do with his music, but I didn't know if it was going to be an upcoming album or what the deal was. I like this book. I like there's a non-fiction section that talks about the process of writing it and what went into him doing this. So basically this orchestra that he put together, it's not called an orchestra, I just can't think of words. It's based on his mental health, and it's driven by the question, if I write what I feel, will you feel it too? So he put together this entire score inspired by anxiety, and so in here it has some of like the screenshots of the music that he put together with a composer, and then every section has its own poem that corresponds with each stage of falling into mental illness and then getting out of it. So like this is the stage of like complete chaos, and this whole page just says all is lost. I felt like this was difficult to read because I live in America. I can't go see this symphony. If I did, it's sold out. And I don't know if this will ever be available like in an album version, so it was just difficult to read about something that I haven't heard and I would love to hear, but I have no access to it. So although I loved the poetry in this, I loved the images, it's just not usable because I have nothing to apply it to other than I relate to, I guess, mental illness. So again, I kind of want to withhold a rating. I always do this for Keaton Henson because it feels unfair to give it not a great rating because I love the poems, but the purpose of it was kind of lost on me because I haven't seen that performance. I also tried to read Broetry by Brian McGackin. This is a book of poems that's like satirically angled toward, like, for a generation of people who hate reading, here's some poems that like even guys can read because they're so easy. And I just didn't think they were funny, so I didn't read it. I think Bo Burnham has reached the top tier of comedy poetry that anything else I'm just like, you're not funny because you're not Bo Burnham. So I read a couple of these and I'm gonna put it down just because it's not funny to me. So instead I started a manga called Satoko and Nada, which is by the author Yubachika. This is a graphic novel that is about these two roommates that live in New York City for school. Oh my god, they were roommates. One of them is Japanese and one of them is Saudi Arabian, and so it's about them becoming friends and they're learning more about each other's cultures. This is one of those mangas that's told like each page has a different story, so it's like little tiny vignettes of their lives, not necessarily one long storyline. Future Whitney, who has done her research, is here to tell you that that's a certain type of manga style that's more comedic because it's only 4 panels, so it's like a meme almost. It's like a little 4 strip. Maybe I'm not educated, I don't know. Just letting you know that it's purposefully that way because it's comedy. But I love the exploration of culture in this one. I think it's so cute how they're exploring their differences and they're learning about each other. It's a really good beginner's guide to like what all the different types of coverings are, and like it explains what Ramadan is. And so I think it comes at it from the angle almost like this reads like someone has never met a Muslim person before, or it's someone who has never learned about this. So sometimes the main character will ask like really naive questions and I think they're handled really appropriately, and the main character Nada is so cute and funny. So I think it does combat a lot of stereotypes that the main character might accidentally be feeding into by asking such naive questions. I'm definitely gonna have to research and see if any Muslim girls or women have reviewed this and thrown in their opinion about it, because maybe I'm overthinking, but I think this book is so freaking cute so far. Their friendship is so wholesome. My favorite part of the book is, you know, the little emoji thing where it's the person going, you know, this little dude. There's a scene where Nada texts Satoko that, and so she sees it and she sees that middle character that looks like the smiley face, which is a character in Japanese language. So she's like, what does this mean? And Nada replies, shrug. So this just explores those little cultural differences between them. Again, there's not really one fluid storyline. It's all these little vignettes of their lives, but I don't even care. I love this so much. This might be getting a full 5 stars for me, depending on the direction it goes. I'm like 37 pages into it, so a little less than halfway. I got really sleepy last night and couldn't finish it, but I'm definitely gonna finish this today. And then I have a couple more graphic novels I'm gonna swim my way through. I don't know why that was the verb of choice, but I'm sticking with it. So, I'm sitting outside in the barn with my mouse while they run around like little menaces. But I just finished Satoko and Nada, and I loved it. I like that this book talks about culture. I love that this book talks about them acclimating to America. It's so respectful. It's so cute. This book brings up a lot of stereotypes that people would assume about Muslims or about Japanese people and really dispels them. So I liked that a lot. It was so cute. It was really funny. I want to give this a full 5 stars. I think it was so fun to read, so quick and easy, and it was very sweet. Hello from future Whitney. I kind of didn't finish wrapping up this vlog because my life just kind of turned into a mess and I didn't feel like it. I ended up reading Snot Girl after I finished Satoko and Nada, so I read another graphic novel. I gave that one 4 stars. It's about this girl who's a blogger who is kind of caught up in that LA like image scene where she wants to look so cool and fresh all the time. So she goes to a party, meets a new girl that she's really into, and then ends up accidentally murdering her in the bathroom. And so she runs away, like trying to hide that it was her, but then a couple days later she sees the girl and doesn't mention anything at all about what happened in the bathroom. So it's this weird, like, almost a murder mystery of like, did she kill this person? What people know about it? How is this girl alive? Like, is something happening with her because she's on new medication? So it's just this very weird thriller story, but it doesn't even feel like a thriller because it's all told in this like really adorable art style. Like, she goes to parties all the time and she does her blog and she has her intern helping her, so it's all very much covered up by like this glamorous life in LA. Volume 1 didn't give nearly enough spotlight on the details of what happened, because I know you're supposed to be like, oh my gosh, what's happening? But I think we ended the book like, okay, but really, like, what are we supposed to know and what are we supposed to not know? It has almost like a Mara Dyer vibe of like, what is going on? Like, what's real and not real? Which I think can be fun, but in this book, it just became sort of frustrating that you were given certain details, but then other details were omitted that would help you, like, piece it together. So it just felt sort of half-baked and half-explained, which is why I took off a star, but I still really want to read volume 2. And then I started Passion on Park Avenue, which is a romance book. I read like a chapter of it and then I fell asleep on the floor. So that was just such a great ending to my 24-hour readathon. So far, that one has much better writing than the past 2 romance books I've read, so I'm invested. It's just not gripping me from the beginning. And that's all that I read over the weekend. It's currently Tuesday, but I have a job interview at 9:30 and it's currently 3:30 a.m. So love that for me. Oakley dokley, I need to upload this, so logging off. Smashing that like button. Wait, this is actually the outro of this vlog. Okay, have a wonderful life. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm sorry that this flopped. What were we expecting? I'm so addicted to Twitter.